What is good, YouTube? Yu-Gi-Oh vendor here coming to y'all with an updated Pure Orcust post-burst protocol and the ban list for January. Just giving y'all my update on what chain. I'm gonna show y'all my main deck, my side deck, and my extra deck. Extra deck, side deck first, and the main deck last. I'm gonna go through this quick because y'all know how the deck is played based off these cards being out for a while. In Lil, you basically can take control of one of your opponent monster. It can be a quick effect if you have Babel and it doesn't target, and then you keep it, and if you send it to the graveyard, you can send a card to the graveyard without targeting two. Long Gear Suit, you basically can shuffle two machines and then send one of your opponent link monsters um, away. That's what he does, and it's good for recycling. And it also has good attack for a Link 3. I play 2 Galatea still. She's good. I mean, as long as you get your Crescendo set or anything like that, you're good. Because she can protect herself from being destroyed by battle if she's linked. And then, like I said, to be able to recycle your Orcust cards and be able to get a powerful card is always important to winning duels. Galatea just as important because it's always giving you a chance to discard cards, and it allows you to activate Crescendo because it's an Orcust link monster. And a lot of the time, you want your Orcust monster in the graveyard that you link off, and you also want to discard a World Legacy or Orcust monster anyway. And then you get Crown that can help you go into Galatea or link climb into something else, and then it can bring his own self back by banishing an Orcust or World Legacy card, I believe, and then it comes back to the field, and then you can use it on your opponent turn two with Babel. So this card is really good, and it was much needed if this deck was going to stay competitive um, with the power creeps that happened since it was at the top of the world at one point. Not so much now, but it still is one of the better competitive decks right now since the ban list happened. I still do play the 2 Ding. You need it. It comes up where you rather have it than not, because sometimes they call by the graveyard, they ghost bail you, and you be like, well, I got another ding, so I had to worry about using symbol skeleton or something of that nature to bring back my ding, because I can always just summon another one from the extra deck because I play 2. Plus, I couldn't really find anything better than Galatea, or even Ding. So I say you might as well just play extra copies of them because they'll come up more than any other card. Plus, you be locked into Dark Machines anyway a lot of times, and they're already the best Dark Machines that you can play, and that can help you win the game or turn the game. Um, Access code because you do play links, and it helps you win games depending on how your board is and what you have in the graveyard. Unicorn, you sometimes need to get rid of a card out of your hand and a card off the field without destruction. And then IP and SP, they just staple link 2. Since you get locked in the dark sometimes, you can go to SP and still banish something, have an interruption. And then IP is an interruption also because you can go into Ding or send your Ding to your graveyard with IP, and then you can bring it back with Skeleton or something like that, even on your opponent's turn, and it can send the cards to the graveyard after that. And then you also have destruction prevention because of IP. So it comes up with a lot of cards and Orcust. As long as you send your cards to the graveyard and still getting value out of them, it's just a good card because of that. And then Gloomy because you play a lot of darks. So if it's destroyed or sent to the graveyard, you can add a dark from your deck to your hand, and your whole deck is basically that monster-wise, besides the hand traps. And on top of that, you can take one of your opponents, and since there's a lot of light and dark cards being played, this card can take the dark ones and you can use it for link climbing too, or whatever you want to use it for. And then Typhon comes up every blue moon. You'd rather have it than not. Same with Zeus. I'd rather play Zeus and have a chance to control the board in certain states than not. My board breakers 3 evenlies because we play droplets. So once you droplet them, evenly can clear boards very good. You want to be able to play 3 because you want to see it when you're trying to go second. And then same with Lightning Storm, back row or monsters, either or. You want to get rid of it depending on the matchup. Obviously, you only cited it in for that reason. Also play 2 Raigeki. I don't see why not. This deck has so many ways to play in games and outgrind. You want to be able to have as much power cards as you can have. I also play Harpy Feather Duster, 2 Thrust, because I play, as you see, a lot of normal spells and traps in the side deck. Solemn Judgment comes up when you're trying to stop them from activating power cards or powerful effects. And then the Biru, obviously, one of the hand traps where you want to see it whenever you can. I only play 2 because I play 1 in the main deck. And then I play the Spear mode because of cards like Liker Dancer and stuff like that, where they have good Omni negates and stuff on the board, and you just clear them all with Spear mode. So it's a board breaker basically. So it is not as good as you want it to be because you don't see it as often, but you still want to play it because you want to have a chance to win. So sometimes you might see it, sometimes you might not. That's just how side decking can be. But I'd rather have it in my side to have that option than not have it at all. For the main deck, 3 Girsus, no explanation needed for this. It's really just the deck. Like, it got to the point where if you see Girsu, you're winning all of your games. That's how good it is if it doesn't get hand trapped. If you don't get Valor, if you don't get Dominus, if you don't get Imperm, this card goes through, you have a good chance of winning that game. That's how powerful this card is. Orcust, Harpur, one of the cards you're going to use a lot because of the fact that it can summon one from deck, and then it just allow you to go into your Galatea or your Girsus. And then it also allow you to go into your extra deck cards too, because you're winning more with your extra deck with this deck than your main deck. Orcust Nightmare, obviously you can dump a card and give an attack boost, and it's an Orcust name, so it's always something that you want to be looking out for when you're trying to play. And then Symbol Skeleton can summon one from grave by banishing itself as long as it's an Orcust. And this one will allow you to summon from hand. I like to have the option of having hand or graveyard, and then Harpur deck. And then this one allows you to summon from banish. Orcust War Legacy card, so that's good. This is a good one mainly because you can summon it to a zone and it's on 2000, and it's good with Galatea because they allow you to climb into a Link 2. And on top of that, if you do it on your opponent's turn, you can just turn it to an attack. Now you got a 2000 monster for free that can negate extra deck monsters effects, and I'm not going to complain about that. 3 Ash Blossoms, one of the greatest hand traps ever created. Just stops so many things. Bell, I always loved this card, but it's really popular now. It's basically a staple in every deck, as it should have been, and it has become a fan favorite card and one of the most hated cards because it comes up a lot. And you can say the same thing about Fu. You want to play it because it gives you a lot of advantages, and your opponent not going to like that you have it, but you're going to be happy when you do. Valor, old school, still kicks butt, allows you to stop the power plays, allow you to stop your opponent from going off, and it puts your opponent in a weaker state. Droll does the same depending on the deck. I'd rather have it in my deck than not because it's just that strong against certain decks. And then Nibiru, I'd rather have it in my main deck because you just never know when your opponent just doesn't see it coming, and then you can, make a huge swing play with it. Babble, because it allows you to have interruptions on your opponent's turn, and it allow you to stay in games sometimes by putting bodies on the board. This deck profile, I do play Orchestrated Return mainly because Droll went to 2, so that helps you because you don't get drolled as much as you used to because they lose a copy. Plus I play Talents, and I play cross out and called by the grave. So draw going to 2 hurts your opponent, and then it also helps you a little bit, and is a draw card. I wouldn't have played it in my other build, but with having that extra deck space, like, well, might as well play a little draw power. And then of course droplet, you love it. Negating a bunch of monsters and dropping the attack by half always helps, especially in a deck like Orcust where you can play with your hand and with your field and also your graveyard. Call by the Grave, staple, 1-up spell. It allows you to just say no to all monsters, hand traps included, which is one of the biggest things in today's game. And then on top of that, just other cards that can appear and try to do things to you even late in the game, middle in the game, or even early in the game. And then triple tactics talent, you have to love it. You can draw, take a card out their hand, or take control of a monster. They all can come up depending on your situation. And then cross out, you have to play it to me at Orcust, because some plays like Yursu, you want it to go through. And if your opponent has a weak hand, it makes it easier to win those duels. Same with Call by the Grave. Foolish, sometimes you get hand trapped and you be like, well, you stop this, you stop that. I still got Foolish Burial, so I still should be in a decent situation. Not the greatest situation, but a decent situation to still be able to have a chance to win. And then Infinite Impermanence, one of the greatest hand traps ever made also. Just stops everything that's good in the game still to this day. And that's what helps you win, right? And then Crescendo stops everything good in the game also. Just allowing you to stop much of spells and traps, the power plays, and just is a big no button. And I play too mainly because it allows you to search your gear suits and your harps and whatever you need to be able to combo in a situation that you find yourself in. And it also can be a negate as long as you keep a Orcust Link monster on the board. And that's always great to see, but it's still good to hard draw it sometimes, because sometimes you do have a mediocre board and they don't know that you have another Crescendo, and then that you activate one, then you set the other one off Galatea or something like that, and then now you have another one that you can banish, and now you have another one that can negate, or you can just banish all of them, both of them, and then negate both with both of them too. And that usually means you win in that game, where your opponent gonna be top decking after fighting through all the things you can throw at them and all the things that they're trying to do. You have a good control over it. So that's my deck profile. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Tell me what you would change. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you thought I was crazy on. Or tell me if you just say this is a different look at Orcust that actually makes sense, because I've been playing it. I've been enjoying it. I've been having a good win rate. So if it was bad, I would never been showing it. But this is how Orcust can be played, and this is how you can play it, and this is a good idea. Right now, after the ban list, some of the decks lost a lot of power, and this deck has a lot of versatility, and it has a lot of things you can throw at other people. And if you're not expecting it or you're not thinking about it, Orcust can creep up on you and put up some good boards and put you in some tough situations. Other than that, love y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. And I'll be back with more binders and more deck profiles in the future. Stay subscribed, and peace.